Welcome to Working Dragon Mystic, where we discuss real, metaphysical, and occult knowledge so that you can manifest real and tangible results in your life. And this week we're going to talk about something a little different, but still very, very important and actually useful when it does come to magic. We're going to be discussing honor. But before we do that, real quick, a few words from Bob.
Well, hello there, seekers and prospective dabblers alike. I'm sure many of you have likely heard this before, but the Dark Roast Monster here is having me read this before I can go back to what I was doing, so please bear with me. Please consider supporting Drake and everything he is working on by utilizing the YouTube memberships. For each tier of said memberships, you may find that you unlock additional perks, such as private live streams, monthly spell workings, and others. Also, feel free to peruse some of our merchandise on our shop's page. We have t-shirts, towels, mugs, and many other items and garments, each with their own bit of art on them, like the Draconic Rulers and the Dragon's Eye Seal. We also have this one hosting regular live streams on Sundays at 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you're one admin I'm thinking of in particular, remember to convert the time zone and set an alarm. At these streams, you can listen in on Drake's latest work, ask him questions, and generally have a decently thought-out discussion. For those looking for a more long-term involvement with the community, others to talk shop with, or peers to learn and develop alongside, please check out our community on Guilded. There, you'll find a variety of different people and different cultures and practices, and in one of the admin's case, a wonderful use of the mute button. I mean, the blonde one just, when he goes on a rant, he just goes, and doesn't stop. I mean, does he ever shut... What? Oh, okay, fine. I'm on topic. For all interested in set, easy-to-follow courses on magic and its many facets, take a look at Drake's online school on teachable.com. Here, he hosts a steadily growing roster of courses on different topics of magic. If you find that you don't see something that you're looking for, let us know. We'll try to find it or incorporate it in the future. From beginner to learned adept, all should find something that they didn't know prior. Links for everything I've mentioned in the description below.
Thank you, Bob. Looks like you're enjoying yourself. All right. Now, a lot of people do actually email me and ask me questions about honor and discipline and integrity, right and wrong, light and dark. And I do my best to answer them, but it is a very complicated topic, and it's actually one that I would say even those who view themselves as people of honor, they spend their life meditating on it, thinking on it, and what it means. Now, a simple definition of honor would probably be a keen sense of right or wrong, adherence to action or principles considered right, dignity, personal integrity, strong moral character or strength, and adherence to ethical principles. Now, for a lot of people, that seems very, very straightforward, but there's a few little bits and bobbles in there that people often do leave out. See, what is right and wrong honestly is going to shift and change throughout history. I mean, find a history book, pick a point in history, and you're going to see certain things have shifted and changed. And honor is far more than just, okay, this is my belief system, this is my rules, I'm not going to break them, I'm just going to stick to these, unerringly just stick to these rules. There's a lot more to it because you grow as a person. The world is constantly changing. We do hope usually for the better, though I think history has taught us not always for the better. We try. Now, to this, I usually say that there's a few traits that one could look into when they're considering their honor. See, honor it's a personal thing. It really is. It is personal. We do have a lot of historical references where people were dueling and fighting battles over, oh, you smack-talked me, you dishonored me, blah, blah, blah. That was more pride and ego than honor, in all honesty. But the traits that if you were to ask me, I would say would definitely line up with the concept of honor are integrity, respect, a strong sense of obligation, and justice. Now, you may be wondering, how does this particularly line up with magic? Well, to be really honest with you, there's a discipline element here and a focus and a dedication. These are all things I've utilized my entire career when talking about magic, and in honesty, every teacher I've had has also utilized these same topics. And it is something that I've sat down and talked with a lot of practitioners about, and how honor and discipline are interlinked so well. And when we talk about living a magical life, we live that life of purpose, that life of intent. And the thing about living a life of intent, living a life with purpose, that means our decisions have a purpose. That means our actions have intent and purpose. We do things for a reason. We're not just out there chaotically, randomly doing whatever, whenever. And that is a form of discipline. And living a disciplined life like that also very much runs parallel to living a life of honor in most cases. And one who lives a life of honor is naturally also going to run right alongside those things. Now, again, honor is a personal thing, so it's something you have to look at yourself on. It really is. It will be a sense of right and wrong. There will be a sense of duty, but it's going to be things that you feel obligated to do to uphold yourself to a higher standard than just the general day-to-day living of most people. Though I think the world might be a better place if everyone did it, but that might be asking too much. All right, so, and what do I mean by that? Well, like I said, honor is that sense of right and wrong and a feeling of duty to uphold that. You have that sense of true duty to uphold it. But what it is not, it is not about following a strict set of rules to which you rigidly adhere to. That's very important. Because if you focus on just this list of rules and you rigidly adhere to it, there's no flexibility, no nothing, you're upholding the rules, not what is right and wrong. Circumstances, situations, all these things create a fluctuation. The same action is not always going to be right depending on the situation. And this is where honor does get very, very philosophical, and you're going to have to do what you got to do. In fact, there's times when doing what's right isn't the best thing for you, but an individual of honor is still going to do what's right, even if it doesn't profit them. But when I am talking about this, when we are talking about honor, we are talking about living our lives this way, one thing I do think is very important to point out. We're going to make mistakes, people. No one is perfect. No matter how honorable we are, we're going to do something stupid and go against what we ourselves even would view our honor as. Everyone's going to make a mistake. The key component to this is, when you make the mistake, learn from it and seek to do better. Always seek to do better. That is how a person grows. That is how a person becomes better. That is how a person truly lives a life of discipline or honor, or a magical life, because you're constantly working on your craft. You're constantly working on your practice to do better. Mistakes happen. You learn from them, and you continue forward trying to be the best you can be. You don't settle for the easy road. You don't settle for, this is who I am, this is what I'm going to do. Because you always are striving to do better in some fashion. It's an always ongoing process. And that is one of the things that I have told a lot of people. If someone gets along and they're sitting there and they look at you and they say, magically, I've learned all I can learn, they gave up. They gave up. No one has learned all they can learn. No one has mastered all they can master. No one has mastered anything. It is an ongoing process. They gave up. End of story. But I have found in my life, though, that meditating on certain quotes and philosophies of honor has kind of helped me throughout the years. And I want to share a few of those with you that I like to meditate on. But if you kind of like this video, if you want to talk about other things like this that could integrity, maybe discipline, stuff like that, I'll happily do some more videos on these. And definitely try to link them into Magick. It's just honor, since that discipline and honor go together so well, and discipline and Magick go together so well, I really wanted to do this one. And I get asked about honor a lot because it's an important thing in my life. So I wanted to go ahead and share this video, perhaps share a little bit of me and insight, and maybe inspire you all to do a bit of meditating on it as well. Pretty simple, okay? Now, real quick, let's go ahead and talk about these quotes. I do have them wrote down here so that I can reference them. I may mess up a name or two, so I do apologize, but I think I got these names for once. Okay, the first quote comes from Samuel Coleridge, and he said, "Our heart and not others' opinions form our true honor," and that is important. Honor is something self. It's not external. It is self. We worry too much about what other people think about us. Anyone heard the term peer pressure? Yeah. If you're acting and doing something because of peer pressure, you're not acting based on your code of honor. Regardless of peer pressure, regardless of what people are telling you, regardless of what's going on, you will follow your code of honor regardless. That is the whole point here. You are not moved, you are not motivated and driven by the opinions of others. You are living for yourself. You are seeking self-empowerment, you are seeking self-mastery, and you are living an honorable life as a part of that. And you only know your heart, and you know what that means. This is why honorable people, honestly, usually sleep well at night. They're walking around with a lot of guilt because they did what was right by them. And they're usually not too big on trying to move the masses either to do what's right by them, because the masses have their own things to do. Kind of that simple, really. The next one, I love this one. I really do. It's an old Icelandic proverb. Well, I don't know if it's old. I know it's an Icelandic proverb. A buddy of mine told me about it, and I did look it up, and everyone lists it as Icelandic proverb. So I don't know exactly its origins. Apologize. But it is, "He who lives without discipline dies without honor." See, there it is again. Discipline and honor, perfectly linked. And you really can't have honor without discipline. It takes discipline to live that life. So if you're living without discipline, yeah, you're not going to have that honor. So I really like that one. And that one is one I have meditated on a lot over the years, especially when I was younger. The concept of honor and discipline being linked was one I spent a lot of time meditating on. Because let's be honest, when I was younger, discipline was not a thing I wanted to talk about too much. It really wasn't. I did have a lot of discipline in areas of my life, but as an overall concept of living, I was always worried it would restrain me, hold me back, some kid stuff. Yeah. So, yeah, that one is one I've meditated on. And I would encourage you to do the same. The next one is by Walter Lippmann, which is, "He has honor if he holds himself to an ideal of conduct, though it is inconvenient, unprofitable, or dangerous to do so." This one really is a good one because, again, we're doing what is right. We are following what we believe regardless of the situation. Okay? I've quit jobs because of my honor. I've left them. Not a good idea. I didn't have a paycheck coming in. I didn't know what I was going to do. But I stood for what I believed in. I held my truth in who I am. I have done things that were not very, very profitable at all. Heck, here on this channel, I have voiced opinions, occult-wise or other, that I know very well it's not profitable. If I was just trying to make money and not be as authentic and truthful as I was, I wouldn't say those things. But I've always promised my viewers I'd be authentic, and I would be truthful to the best of my ability, and I intend to hold to that. Dangerous. Oh yeah, I've done some stupid stuff that was definitely dangerous, but I also viewed it to be right. I interceded in things where other individuals were in danger, and me, myself, I'm not going to leave someone in danger. In my mind, my personal mind, if you see something happening, you know it's wrong, and you do nothing, you're just as guilty as the person who done the action, in my mind. So I'm not going to stand by. I'm not going to let indifference affect others while I do nothing. I'm going to do everything I can to help as best I can. Okay? So those are kind of those things. And then our final quote to meditate on is Socrates. Or Socrates. How's it? I think it's Socrates. I don't think it's Socrates. I think it's Socrates. Laugh at me if you will. I don't mind. Why do I call it? I think, you know what? I think I know why I called it Socrates. I picked it up from my youth, from Bill and Ted. Dating myself a little bit there. Okay, so anyway, Socrates. The greatest way to live with honor in this world is to be what we pretend to be. I love this one. I absolutely love this one. This one is be authentic. Don't put a mask on. Don't hide who you are. Be who you are. And don't apologize for it. Now, being who you are, being authentic and not apologizing for it, that is great. But do not force your beliefs, your ideals onto others. Let them be unique. Let them be authentic. That is a big thing in this world all around that we have a problem with. First off, we expect everyone to do as we like, as we wish, so they do not offend us, upset us, or any of those other things, because that's not what we like. But we also expect them to let us do as we wish and be who we are and be truly authentic. That is called a hypocrite. Because you're expecting them to not be authentic while they allow you to be authentic. I agree, authenticity is a wonderful thing, and we should all seek to do it. It is amazing, and it is freeing to be who you truly are. But if you wish to do so, and you wish others to do so, you need to let others do so also. And if you're constantly trying to silence someone else, tell them they're wrong, constantly putting them down for whatever reason, you're the problem. Hands down. I have got a lot of little people I've ran into in my travels, mostly crossed on the West Coast. They see my hat, whether it be this one or any of the other two, and they just start spewing profanities at me because I'm wearing a hat. Is it because I'm wearing a hat? No. It's because they see it as a cowboy hat, a southern hat, and they have preconceived notions about that hat. I've dealt with this my whole life. I actually have a leather trench coat. I love that coat. My first one was bought for me by someone who is very, very dear to me in my life and has taught me a great deal and actually shaped me into what I like to think is an honorable person I am. Well, I also come from a generation where trench coat mafia was a thing. So, you know what? My coat kind of had a stigma on it. But I wasn't that. And I'm not going to change who I am because of the small minds of another person. So if you have insults to sling your insults. They don't affect my honor. They show your character, not mine. So this one here, this one by Socrates, I would actually potentially argue this might be the most important one. If I was to do a meditation and pick just one of these, I'd probably pick that one. Because the understanding of being truly authentic to oneself and allowing others to be truly authentic of themselves and being able to live peacefully together, whether there's differences of opinion, differences of thought, that right there, if we really want humanity to move forward. That's what we need to try to do. Socrates knew some stuff. He kind of knew what he was talking about there. Pretty smart guy, really. Now, real quick though, before I close, what do I mean by meditate? How do I meditate on these? What do you mean, Drake? Well, all you need to do is sit down and relax. Get into your normal meditation, whatever that may be. Check out our videos on beginner meditation. We have some videos on those. What I want you to do is what's called a focused meditation. We do talk about this in the meditation course. But once you're in that relaxed state, once you're nice and calm, you've done your deep breathing, however it is you get in your meditative state, you shift your focus to the quote. And you keep your focus on that quote and what does it mean to you? And your mind is actually going to sort through that. It's going to pop up scenarios for you. Put yourself into situations. Ask yourself, are you being authentic? Are you truly being you? Are you an old country redneck who's trying to hide you're from the South? I was guilty of that. And many of you now know, by God, it took me getting out of the South to realize, I kind of like who I am. I don't want to change it. So how authentic are you being? Okay, that's one of the first places I would start with this meditation as I pondered this quote and meditated on it. But I'd also spend a little time during the meditation to ask yourself, are you allowing that of others as well? Or are you trying to force them to change for whatever reason it may be? See, this one hit my mom really hard because we were discussing different things, philosophical, at a barbecue. I don't know how we got on that, but we did. It was a weird day, that's all I'm going to say. And this quote was one that was brought up, not even by me. And I pointed out to my mom, she doesn't necessarily let people be as authentic as she thinks. And I pointed to the fact that I had long hair, not at this particular time, but at one point, and she was constantly trying to get me to cut it. She constantly thought I should change it. She even got my wife involved in it and tried to get my wife to cut it for her or to convince me to cut it. Lo and behold to her, my wife liked my long hair, so that wasn't going to happen. Now, this is a very small thing. This is one of those things, in all honesty, let's be honest. I wore my hair. I liked my hair. She didn't. It bugged her. I kind of enjoyed the bickering back and forth. But it did bother her. It genuinely did bother her. And if I would have told her what to do with her hair, she would have flipped her lid. So see, that's one of those things where she wasn't doing that. And that hit home with her. I hit home with her really, really hard. And I am proud to say my mom took that information. She processed it. She thought about it. And she actually came out later that night and brought it up to me, which surprised me. I'd already forgotten about it. But she said, you know what? You're right. I do not, nor should I have, the right to tell you how to live your life and how to wear your hair. If I'm right and your hair affects your professional life or whatnot, then I'm right. But that still doesn't give me the right to change how you live. She's like, so I can simply say, I, as an individual, do not like long hair on men. That's a preference. And I agreed with her. That is a preference. That is a preference she has. And she does want the best for her son. She gets that. So that preference kind of bled over to that. But it did hit her when she realized she was judging me on that little thing. I'm surprised the conversation hit her as hard as it did, but it got through. But now this is a little example of what I'm talking about. There are much, much larger examples that happen every day. And it's so bad, in fact, if I was to give a few of those examples, let's be honest, YouTube would probably take my video down. But I don't need to give these examples in the video. Because one of the things for me personally, when we meditate on our honor, when we meditate on discipline, when we meditate on who we want to be, We need to meditate on those facts as they are, preferably untainted and directed by those around us. Now, with that said, we all have friends, we all have loved ones who we truly trust. We value their counsel, their wisdom, and this may be a topic we would like to have a discussion with them, perhaps to get their opinion on how they see us. Or, as we start developing and understanding these meditations and taking notes, to take those notes, those understandings itself to them and discuss them with them. That's understandable. But those are people you personally choose to share those with, not some southern mage on the internet who's having a little chit chat with you about honor. My goal here is not to tell you specifically what honor is. It is to give you an idea of its concept, how it relates to discipline. Both those things can greatly help you in your life and your practice. But I also wish to encourage you to do the work, to meditate on it, and find its meaning and truth within yourself. Okay? Now, I know this is a little different than the videos I've done before. My apologies. I hope you enjoyed it. But if you would actually like a few more videos, potentially on topics like this, a bit more philosophical than hardlined, let me know. I'll see what I can do, see what topics I can dig up. If you have ideas for some of those topics, pitch them out. We'll see what we can do about it. I always love to get video ideas from viewers. Actually, you guys largely do help me come up with the video content for this channel. This video is an example of that. Alright everyone, I'm Drake. This has been Working Dragon Mystic. Until next time, take care. Bye-bye.